402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. That's to Rats.
Looking for a financial partner that truly makes a difference? Modern Woodman is a member-owned fraternal financial services organization. We can help you plan for all stages of life, from protection to saving to retirement. We also offer member benefits, social activities, and volunteer opportunities to help your family and community.
I'm Sean Erickson, your Modern Woodman representative in Lincoln. Call me at 402-483-6515 to start the conversation.
Modern Woodman of America, touching lives, securing futures.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
The time is now. Lincoln Marathon and Half Marathon registration is now open, and prices are rising. The sooner you sign up, the less you pay. Set the goal, start training. Register now at lincolnmarathon.org. Race day is May 3rd.
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Matson's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines, unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge, with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Matson's Bowling and Billiards, just south of 48th and Holdridge.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. You've got used to one segment of good takes in the morning, but now there's a full show of good takes at night. Welcome into Raff's Good Take on Sports on 93.7 The Ticket.
All right, welcome back in. We got Chris Raff, Raff's Good Take on Sports 93.7 The Ticket FM, or 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. You guys are going to check out the website as well. We got Chris Raff in here. We got a lot of breaking news. Also, Raff, I got to do a quick flex here. The DP just got me some gear. That's incredible.
Oh, let's see it.
The stream. Can you do you know when the first Bears championship was, not the Super Bowl?
First Bears championship, probably 19.
With George House?
Let's go 1952.
1933.
Ooh.
World, you can't see the font too well, but it says World Champions. 1933 Chicago Bears.
That's awesome.
I'll be wearing that Saturday. As your Broncos are on Sunday, correct?
They got a bye. They got the number 1 seed.
So you don't got to stress at all this weekend, which is enjoyable.
Laid back weekend. So hey, today's also a very big day in anniversaries. Huge day in anniversaries.
Oh, what would today be? January 6th?
January 6th. What happened on January 6th in Husker history?
We talking football?
I'm talking football.
Yeah, it makes sense with the timeline. I mean, we probably won the championship. We beat someone good.
Nope. Actually, this was a huge day in coaching hires. On this day, 64 years ago, Bob Devaney was named head coach of the Nebraska football Cornhuskers.
Oh, that's good. That's some good Husker history. I'm okay. I like that. That's good because Bob Devaney really got things going.
And you know what else is an anniversary today?
Is it yours?
4 years ago. 4 years ago today, AD and Raff hit the airwaves in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Riffing with Raff and AD or the drive?
Nope. 4 years ago tonight, riffing with Raff and AD. Our very first episode was 4 years ago today.
Who was the one that pushed that more? Did you have to convince AD or did AD have to convince you? Or were you guys both like, let's do it?
That was all me. That was all me.
Well, now AD's still here. He's still doing it.
He still tells the story about that. For some reason, he thought it was just going to be a podcast, that we were just going to record a podcast and just put it out there. And I told him, I'm like, hey, we're going into 93.7. We're going to meet with DP. And for some reason, I don't know what happened there. And then we were getting out of the car that day, and I'm like, this is the radio show, AD. And he's like, whoa, 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 whoa. But I told him, I go, it'll be great. It'll be great. And it was, I mean, the first, 3-4 months of that show, I mean, that was the best night of our week. We waited for Wednesday nights just to have our guest on and just to do the show. And then when DP came to us and asked us to, do every single day, it worked out great with our schedules. It was like, oh yeah, this will be perfect. So it's been a great 4 years. I mean,
So does you charge AD a finder's fee then? Or how does that work?
I should.
He's still milking the profits off of it. Not that he doesn't put in the work. I love AD, but
no,
he's been with us for a while now. And I know the ticket crew, we all really enjoy AD's company. But yeah, thanks, Raff. It's been huge that both you guys joined the ticket.
Yep, it was all me. I should have got a finder's fee for that. I'll have to, next time I talk to him, probably tomorrow, but I'll have to let him know that a finder's fee is needed for that. But yeah, when it first came out that we were doing a radio show, he was a little leery of it at first, but then after the first week, it was so crazy because it was just like we were so nervous. I mean, it was pretty wild at first, and then we just grew into it. And then, I mean, just those old shows, those Riffin' with Raff and AD shows, they're still on YouTube. If you want some fun interviews, go back and listen to some of those interviews. I mean, we went through, like Dave Remington, and we had AG on before he was our co-host on the drive. We had on. We had Tom Banderas. We had everybody. Cluster Johnson, Tommy Frazier.
We do got Crowbait on here. Shout out Crowbait, long time ticket listener. He says, "What's up, Raff?" And he says, "I miss AD with Raff. You know what we should do? I don't know if AD, he might charge a fee, but we still got the beds and rejoins for riffing with Raff and AD. If he was good for one night, we could do an old school.
Bring back an old school. We might have to do that in the off season. Maybe like one night a week. We'll do it. We'll do with DP. I'm sure he would accept it. It could be Raff's good take on sports, riffing with Raff and AD night. And maybe we have like one guest every week, and we'll reach into the Rolodex and see what we can do and start bringing it and do an interview once every week or something like that. If that's what the listeners would be up for, and if DP would be up for it, maybe we could talk to AD and maybe we could start doing that.
I think it'd be a lot. I mean, you guys, as far as the Rolodex goes on contacts, like you guys alone it's been pretty good content, but you guys know, just with your history of Nebraska, you guys know everybody.
Well, you want to know something really funny is, the game last weekend, the Broncos and Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
The starting running back for the Chargers was Jarrett Patterson, and he was the running back for Buffalo. And that was during the time period that I was going up there to visit Coach Leipold and his staff. So Jarrett's like one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. Like, I had to tell him to quit calling me sir, because every time he'd see me in Buffalo, it was like, "How are you, sir? How are you?" And I'm like, Jarrett, just Chris or Raff or, but it was crazy. That was the first game that I was like kind of rooting against him. I wanted to see him do good, which he had a decent game. He didn't average a ton of yards per carry, but he had some decent runs. And so it's been cool to see him to think that he's, been playing in the NFL for 5 years now, 6 years. So I know I definitely want to get him on as a guest at some point and just have him talk about his experiences, because he's had quite the journey with the Commanders and the Chargers. And so that'd be pretty cool. So yeah, we might have to look into doing like an interview show or something, maybe in the off season, and have like one night a week or something, because I think that'd be fun. And I think like we said, we definitely know some people out there.
Oh, and I think the listeners would enjoy it too. A little bit of throwback, because I remember doing that show when it started, and that was you guys didn't know it at the time, but that was a big selling point early on when we're trying to put that stuff together. It was like, we got to get some people. As much as I love myself, people on the text line could probably tell me, like, I heard you for 6 hours, like every day. Always a little bit nauseating, and I try not to cover the same topics, so every now and then it gets spread a little bit thin. I'm trying to cover all the bases. So when you guys be in there, I mean, it was huge. It's a lot easier to sell a show with two hosts that are not there, the typical daily crew. That it's like once a week, you can get something a little bit different. And then that just kind of kept building off. And then you guys got too good for me. And you guys went to the day, but I forgive you for it. But it was a big chapter. I mean, it's what allowed a lot of the weeknight stuff to start kind of piling up and allow this thing. I mean, now we're here till midnight, and the staff's gotten bigger. The studio's significantly better, and you know that better than anybody else. And as long as
we had Tom Arnold on the airwaves today. I mean, that's just crazy in its own self. I was, when I heard about it, and then when DP interviewed him, it was just crazy. I forgot all about him hosting the Best Damn Sports Show. And then DP started talking to him about it. I was like, oh my goodness, I completely forgot about that. And then he was talking about how he was like living a dream. Like Ernie Banks was sitting on one side of him and Willie Mays was sitting on the other side of him. He interviewed Pete Rose. He interviewed, just all these great athletes. And I completely had forgot about that show. So that was a cool interview that DP did with him this morning.
Sorry, final one from Crowbait, the last side tangent. He says, my brother-in-law used to be a cheerleader at Nebraska and said he knows Raff. So it makes me wondering if Raff remembers him. I'd have to know. It's Crowbait. I don't know if Crowbait
what's his brother-in-law's name?
If you want to put that in there, if that's not private information, Crowbait, you can go ahead and we can find out if he does or not. But it is crazy, and that's what I mean. You guys,
if it was between probably 1993 and 2000, I probably know who he is. I'd venture to guess I know who he is. But
feel free to put that in. We can ask Raff. But yeah, going to Tom Arnold,
or just a first name and last initial, I might even know who it is just by that.
Absolutely. Send that in. But real quickly, not DP. I almost called you DP. Chris Raff. I think you'd be severely disappointed in the ticket staff as a result of DP's interview with Arnold.
No one knew who he was.
AD I wasn't here for it, but I got here later. I hear he about broke a gasket because there was a lot of and then they saw his face, and obviously he's the kind of guy. Once you see the face, you're like, okay, yeah, I know who that is. But the name, there's a lot of blanks apparently for the younger crew.
Well, okay, so here's the thing with where Tom Arnold really blew up in popularity was he married Roseanne. Did you know who Roseanne was?
Yes.
So when he married Roseanne, that was a big thing in Hollywood, a big, where he got a lot of attention. But then, like I said, like the Best Damn Sports Show, I mean, that was a super good show. And I'd completely forgot that he was one of the hosts. So that it was pretty cool. So yeah, I knew who he was. I was like, well done. We got big names. But I mean, that's the thing with 93.7 The Ticket is just some of the people and the names that we've had on through the past years. I mean, I kind of had to, pinch myself a little bit just that we were interviewing them. Like one of the guys that we had on back in the day was Jeff Pearlman, and he's New York Times best-selling author. He just came out with a Tupac Shakur book not too long ago. He wrote the USFL book. He wrote a book on Brett Favre. I mean, just one of the, he was back in the day, he wrote for Sports Illustrated. He was the guy that wrote the story about John Rocker that kind of turned his world upside down. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Some of the interviews that we've had and some of the people that we've had in the station or just called in. It's been pretty cool. So now you got my wheels turning now where I'm like, ooh, one night interview. So we might have to bring that back.
Real quickly, Cole's Josh Coles do anything for you as the name?
Yep. I knew him.
Oh,
He's
okay. You knew Crowbait's guy.
He's a little bit after me, but yep. I know the name. I know who he is.
That is ridiculous. I'm not kidding. You know everyone. You're the guy that would get the landscapers parking spot that he just eventually gave to you with the ground crew.
Yep. Shep, the man in the polka dotted hat. He left me a spot. There used to be in North Stadium there used to be a little parking garage right behind the stadium. Like right when now it's I don't even know what they name it. Used to be the Osborne Center, but now that Osborne moved over, I don't know what they have the old South or the old North Stadium, what they call it now. I mean, it seems like
question. I didn't even think about that.
It used to be the Osborne Family Center, but I think they moved the Osborne Family Center into the new one. So I don't know if it's just all combined all into one big Osborne Family Center now, but yeah, a long time ago, I used to park right inside the stadium. That was some good parking.
I bet, especially when it was freezing out and the game was
The other day I posted on my Twitter, I posted where I found the old key to West Stadium. But I don't think that key works anymore because I think they've all went to fobs and key cards now. So I don't think my key to the stadium works anymore.
I don't know. I mean, they might have not. Which side of the stadium did you say? North?
West Stadium.
It depends if they renovated that part. I'm sure they did. But next time you might as well just give it a try. Go with the key and see if it works.
Should I take my West Stadium key and see if I can exchange it for a fob or something like that?
Yeah, just say like, "Hey, you guys forgot to update my key," and they'll look at you dumbfounded. My key for, but if it does work, just let me know, and then I'll be right behind you. I'll also head into the stadium that way.
Well, I also had the key for the Schulte Fieldhouse too, but they tore that down several years ago, so I don't. So yeah, all my keys no longer work. So
I wonder how big of a security threat you were at the end of your career, because you probably had too much access to where they didn't know about. You might have.
Well, it got to the point where everybody knew me, so I didn't need like a press pass or field pass or any type of pass. I could go wherever I wanted, whenever I wanted. It was great. Those were some good times. But one of the things that I told myself too, I was like, these days will not last forever, so cherish every single moment of it. So it's like I look back on those days fondly, but I'm like, I lived it. It was great, so I hope there's somebody else out there that's having that time of their life in college right now. I'm guessing they probably won't see 2 championships, or 3 championships. Man.
All right, you don't have to rub it in, Raff.
Those were the days.
I bet when you're winning 3 national championships, that sounds pretty electric. That sounds awesome. I can count volleyball and bowling and yeah, that's it. No, maybe rifle. I could be wrong on that. I don't want to discount those guys. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy that you got that experience. That was the biggest surprise when we first started doing the show. I was like, okay, now Raff's connections are making sense. You were just imprinted everywhere on campus.
Yep, I always say I was kind of like the Van Wilder of the University of Nebraska.
Sounds like a fun role to be in. Speaking of Nebraska football, though. Unless you got anything else to add on your glory days.
I was just going to say, I still remember to this day hauling the national championship trophies to the Coliseum in the back of a Gator. I mean, that's got to be the all-time funniest moment of my life. I had two crystal balls, and I had 4 because I had the 71 and the 72 trophy. Then I had the 93 and the 94 and the 95 trophy in the back of a Gator. I mean, those were the days.
Too bad cell phones weren't or smartphones weren't a thing, because you would probably just taking a bunch of pictures.
So see, that goes into twofold. Like, I'm glad social media wasn't around back in those days for some of the things, but then I'm also upset that I didn't have a camera more for some of that stuff that happened, because that would have been pretty hilarious to have a picture of me driving a Gator with the national championship trophies in the back. But
yeah, that's gonna be weird for my generation, like when we start getting older, because we were, again, like I'm 26, so we're kind of at the tipping point where smartphones start taking over. Like, we'll be that first generation to really go back and like have our whole lives in pretty close to HD footage.
Yeah,
which is gonna be weird when we're in like when I'm like 80, knock on wood, I get that old, but like just going back and seeing myself when I was like even 16 is probably when we start getting really good footage, and I'll see myself in my 20s, 30s, 40s. Like, that's gonna be bizarre watch back, and that, because I'll remember. Well, just vividly see all the stuff like what you used to be like. So I don't know what that's going to look like. I know it's a side tangent, but it's crazy. how stuff that fast advances forward.
So yeah, like you said, we had some more news today in the football atmosphere. Our quarterback talk of last night came to fruition. Nebraska acquiring, or we hope acquiring the services. I mean, nothing I guess is guaranteed. I don't know. Have they got a fax signature from him, or a DocuSign or whatever it's called? But Anthony Calandria,
yep,
I guess potentially new quarterback for the University of Nebraska Cornhuskers. I honestly, for me, I think that's a great pickup for Nebraska. I know it's going to sound crazy, but I think if you gave me a choice between Calandria and the Notre Dame guy, I already forgot his name. Bill Bush says once they're gone, you can't remember them. You just got to let them go. But if you gave me my choice between those two quarterbacks, I think I would go with Calandria.
No, I would not. I hope I'm wrong.
See, I look at, if you put Calandria and Minchie up next to each other, I would go with Calandria just for the fact that he's more seasoned. He's had more snaps. He's got a, what do you call it? He's got that experience. He's got that sea of, you can look back and see how he's performed in games. With Minchie, you're kind of flying blind with him. You're not really sure what you're going to get with him yet, because he doesn't have that pool of, plays and games played in. So I think Nebraska Calandria, I think personally, I think it was an upgrade.
Maybe. I don't want to be like the pessimist and being like, well, nothing until I see it. I don't believe it.
Well, I
hear a lot. I'll just say this much. Like, I've been hearing some good things, like, yeah, that's the guy. And then I've been hearing the other side being like, are you sure about that? Like, this is the best option. So
you want to know something?
What's that?
Would you like to hear who? So I went through tonight and was kind of watching old videos and stuff of them. And you know how when you watch a player and you like to have comparable?
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to venture and guess to guess who I think he compares to? I'm not saying he's going to be, what this player was, but I think
Andrea.
Yep.
Jackson Dart. I just throw one out there.
Johnny Manziel.
He's not that crazy.
But I'm talking from the playing standpoint of what he brings to the game. Like, a lot of his big plays are off schedule. So I think that bodes well for Nebraska, being that they've had troubles blocking in the offensive line the past years. I think with Calandria, that he brings, he's not lightning fast. Like I know he's not a 4.4 guy, but he's got that escapability that reminds me a lot of Johnny Manziel. And then a lot of his throwing and stuff is a lot of off schedule, a lot of, different arm angles and stuff like that. Like I said, I'm not saying he's going to be the next Johnny Manziel by no means, but go and watch some of his plays. And I see a strong resemblance just to the playing style of what Johnny Manziel played. So I think with Nebraska, at least I see what they're going for, what I believe they're going for, because he's, like I said, a lot of rollouts, a lot of off schedule. He threw the ball to the tight end. That was for me, that was great to see, because I always feel Nebraska just never fulfills what a tight end could be at Nebraska, because in the college game, I always feel the tight end's always open. I think that's something with Calandria, with the experience that he has. I think you give him, what he needs. And then also too, sorry to switch subjects on you, is he anointed the starting quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think you walk into it saying there's going to be a quarterback battle, but
is there a battle, or is he
winning money? So
is he battle? Is it a battle, or is he anointed the starting quarterback? I mean, I know that you play for your position, and that's the thing, but you realize he's leaving, a school where he was the starting quarterback. So it's like, I find it hard to believe that you've convinced him to come to Nebraska to say, oh yeah, by the way, there's a good chance you might not play any.
Yeah, I mean, when I say it's going to be a battle, you remember when like Dylan Raiola wasn't official?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, okay. We know who's going to be the quarterback. So, yeah, I'm assuming he's going to go ahead and be that guy. I don't think they'll ever flat out and say it until they get to that point in the season. But, yeah, I'd imagine they're putting a lot of money, a significant amount towards him to where that's going to be the idea. But the only thing that scares me is when you talk about, like, the things he does off schedule. That's, like, twofold. The first one is, why are you off schedule? Are you just not executing the plays properly? And then B, if you're going to be off schedule, that's great and all.
Yeah.
But, with Nebraska's off, we saw it just in these past few games with TJ Lateef. He wasn't even going crazy off schedule. The pressure was just coming already. There was no room to even break out to show any of that explosiveness because the pocket was already on top of him.
He has his moments from the pocket also. I mean, he throws a fairly decent deep ball. I mean, if you just nitpick at him a little bit, sometimes he's a little behind on his deep ball, but he puts it on him. He gets it out there to him. But one of the things I notice is just a lot, stepping out in the pocket, rolling to the right, rolling to the left. He's able to throw from both sides. Just like if you get a chance, just go and just take a look at some of his plays. And it's like the resemblance to the Johnny Manziel. It's like I said before, I'm not saying he's the next Johnny Manziel. I'm not saying he's going to win the Heisman. I'm not saying he's going to be an All-American, but if you watch his style of play, you see a strong resemblance of Johnny Manziel in his play.
I hope he's awesome. I'll say that confidently. Like, I want him to be everything that you just said, like that he's got that capability, that he goes off schedule, not because he can't read what he's seeing, but he's going off schedule because he sees something better or something that he can improvise on that'll be much more effective or efficient as opposed to taking any risks. So, I mean, it's a little bit of a dance. Like Caleb Williams, I hate to always bring my Bears into this, but that's Caleb Williams' like biggest problem that people say is when he gets off schedule. Like, can you just play within the system and do what Ben Johnson wants you to do? Because you make those incredible plays, but then you go on those drives where it's like, well, we just went 3 and out because you went off schedule. You scrambled when you should have sat in the pocket and just waited. And that's what scares me about those guys. So maybe he does a good job of like balancing the acts, but that's always the question. Can you balance that of going off script? And then with the offense, I guess I don't know what the script looks like next year and like how they want him to operate within it. But I mean, hey, at least we got a guy in there, right? Because if you wait any longer, the way this transfer portal goes, like, who knows?
I think Nebraska for where we were at yesterday and for what they ended up with, I think they did a really good job. I just that experience. I think that is so crucial is getting somebody in here that's had some experience. The one that scared me with Minchie was he hasn't had a whole ton of playing time. And when he was in at Notre Dame, it was mop-up duty, and it wasn't, under fire. Like if he had a couple games under his belt where he was like the starter and played and you had some sort of, you saw something, then I would have been, I guess, more confident in Minchie. But knowing with Calandra, you've seen it, you've seen his results, UNLV 9-4 this past year. It's like he's shown it. So I'm hoping that can, and you look at his statistics each year, they've improved. So I'm hoping that, he takes another step forward this year. So I'm cautiously excited. That's what I am. Cautiously excited.
Yeah, and I just like based off, some of the ticket listeners. I know we got a couple on YouTube. They're all excited. The Go Big Red Captain, and then we got Lou in here. They feel like they made a good decision there. And seeing some of the stuff off of X, I know people are excited. You can definitely be excited for it. I hope it works out. I'm not entirely sure. With Minchie, you could definitely say that he's not the guy either, because to your point, he never really got those games. He had really good quarterbacks pretty much ahead of him the whole time, so you can give him a little bit of break for that. But at the same time, you haven't really seen him in those situations.
Yep. And now I think, and then, sorry, I'm all over the place. My mind is going. The football is flowing through my mind. It's like, and you're also seeing on defense. You're seeing the kind of a plan on defense. Like they went heavy. They got 3 new linebackers now. So and some of them are 2 of the 3 have connections to Ulrich. So that I like seeing that. So they're not coming in, having to learn the new system. They know the system that's going to be installed. Now, like I said, the big thing too now is D linemen. I think you need to go out there and find yourself, a couple big guys that, fill that A gap. I think that's the big thing for Nebraska, is to get some anchors there on that defense.
Yeah, for linebackers, they got Will Hawthorne currently, Dexter Foster, and then Chambliss out of San Diego State, Oregon State, Iowa State.
Yep. And Ulrich recruited the Oregon State guy. I know that. He recruited him out of high school. And then Will Hawthorne, coming from Iowa State, well coached, Matt Campbell. So I think I like how that's taken form, but we need to find like I said, some interior guys. If they're going to play that 4-man front, you need to find a couple big Haas guys to fill those gaps on the inside.
I hope. I mean, we're starting to get more and more of these pieces coming through here, and I'll have a much better feeling when we finally get towards the end and we fully understand what we're looking at here. Also, shout out, we did get Brendan Black out of Iowa State as well. That's some really good interior offensive lineman help. Yeah, that's the one I feel the best about, because he's played a lot. He's shown the tape. He can do the job.
And then we got another offensive lineman today too. The tackle from South Carolina. Yep.
So we got some help there, which, I was saying before, that's what you think of those guys or not. That's probably like the second toughest group of guys to get, because everyone's looking for linemen. Everyone wants linemen, defensive linemen, offensive linemen. I mean, that's going to make or break your team. And so it's nice to see them get a few of these guys in here already, especially when Matt Rule was, I don't want to say like, it wasn't arrogant, but he was beating his chest about having the funds and the resources to go in the portal and get the guys that he wanted and needed. So it's much better than sitting here today. Anyway, if today was quiet and we still didn't really have anything moving, I think the text line and the text would look a little bit different. I think people would still be nervous. At least there seems to be a direction. Is it the right direction? We'll have to wait till fall to see if it is. But you're seeing some pieces come together. We'll see if it makes a nice picture at the end. All right, we got to throw it to break. Raff, what do you want to talk about next? You want to stay on college football, or you want to go NFL?
I think we got to go NFL. I want to talk some NFL head coaching firings. I mean, it's always that time of year, but it's just interesting to me, especially what took place in Baltimore today.
Well said. 18 years, and he's out of there. We'll talk about that all next, right here. Raff's Good Take on Sports 93.7 The Ticket, ticketfm.com.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription, or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
MHC isn't a new company, just a new name. Mo's Moving is now Mo's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can handle your commercial moves as well. MHC Moving has 0 hidden fees. You'll never pay for same-day booking or be charged for stairs, heavy items, or elevator fees. Rates are the same Monday through Saturday, and you will never pay a truck or fuel surcharge. And they offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com. Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in December, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep the clubs out year-round. Book your holiday parties at Double Eagle Golf and make plans to join them for a New Year's Eve party. Gift cards make a great stocking stuffer for Christmas, and don't forget to look ahead to 2026 as spring leagues begin in February. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
In a world where Wi-Fi battles rage and bandwidth is never enough, one family dares to connect it all. Work from home, influence all day, stream all night, and game to win. Deadlines, downloads, and dance-offs, all happening under one roof, flawlessly. Can your internet provider do that? Fiber fuel your household at allofiber.com/all-in.
There are so many realtors in Lincoln and Omaha, but don't get overwhelmed by all the no-names, plus all the different companies. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Real Estate is your go-to option, whether buying or selling residential, luxury, leasing, investment properties, or commercial property, small or large. Ben's team offers decades of experience, unbeatable customer service, and promises to fully protect your interests throughout the entire transaction. Call 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador Real Estate.
Back to Raff's Good Take on Sports on 93.7 The Ticket. With all the good takes you need, here is your host, Chris Raff.
Welcome back in. Raff's Good Take on Sports, 93.7 The Ticket. You guys are always welcome to join in. The Starter Heyman text lines, 402-464-5685. You can comment on the streams, and if you have been, we appreciate it as always. We did have a question. Wasn't there a name for the doomed coaches at the end of the regular season? And it is. It's called Black Monday. A little bit of Black Tuesday for today's instances. But I believe there's like 7 vacancies right now. Raff, which one do you want to talk about?
Oh, we got to go with the Ravens first. The Ravens.
Yeah, please give me your take on this.
Well, first off, can you believe that the Ravens, I mean, not the longevity of the Pittsburgh Steelers, because the Steelers have had 3 coaches since, 1970, I believe, when Chuck Noll took over. Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, Mike Tomlin. But the Ravens been pretty consistent since their franchise began back in 96. You've had Ted Marchibroda, Brian Billick, and John Harbaugh that they released, or they came to a amicable parting or whatever it was today, or fired him today. I myself, I was surprised and just very stunned that they let him go as the head coach, just for the fact that the injuries, Lamar, battled injuries this past year. He still had them, one missed field goal from being division champs. Even it wasn't a 12-5 year, a 13-4 year, but still was one kick away from winning the division. So I was surprised, and now it's interesting to me because I'm not really sure where you go to is for them. Like what kind of coach are you looking for now if you're the Ravens?
Stefanski? No, obviously not. I don't know who you're placing with, but I agree with you. I wouldn't have fired him. There's a few reasons. And people are saying well, that's the best spot because you're going to inherit a 2-time MVP in Lamar Jackson. There's a lot of people that didn't think Lamar Jackson could do the job. And John Harbaugh continually believed in him and continually kept working that offense and building it around Lamar Jackson. There's a reason why Lamar Jackson's a 2-time MVP is because John Harbaugh did a really good job building an offense that suits him. And then eventually the narratives of you can't throw for, a 300, 400 yard games consistently enough. Well, then he starts doing that. And then, he's a little bit too reckless with the running yet. He needs to play a little bit more in system, and you keep seeing him get polished. And then you go in their playoff runs. I mean, this year, a missed field goal with the rookie kicker, tough.
Yep.
But you set yourself in a good situation to win on the road versus a rival. Those rival games are always tough. Last year, you were in a good position. Mark Andrews just dropped it. Otherwise, you win that game. 2 years ago, I'm trying to think what happened 2 years ago now, why they fell through. And then the year prior to that, it was the Titans, where that's the one game I think you can give John Harbaugh some tough time, where the offensive play calling, I'm not a pro. A lot of people had problems with that, if I remember correctly. But other than that, I mean, what could you really point to this team and say John Harbaugh's not getting it right here?
Yeah, no, all I can think of is just maybe that the relationship grew stale, being that it has been 17 years. But I'll tell you one thing. If you're the New York Giants tonight, you are putting together one of the greatest packages in the history of NFL football to get him to be your head coach. I think John Harbaugh and the New York Giants is a perfect fit.
I was thinking Raiders.
Ooh, I think if you're Harbaugh, I think you want to go to something with a little bit more, how do you say it? Maybe not as many issues, I guess you'd say. I mean, the Raiders in their own way are kind of a mess. You really don't know the direction they're going. Is Mendoza, is he their first pick? I don't know if he's convincing enough of a first pick, because
I trade down, keep Geno Smith, get some other talent around it. I think that's why if I'm John Harbaugh, though, I like, give me a good deal, and then we're really talking. And if it's a good enough deal, I get some time there because everyone knows how broken it is. And it's, they're going to give you leeway. And I think he's the type of guy that could go in there and demand some respect. I mean, what was it, 18 years with the Ravens?
Yeah.
Geno Smith, I don't think Geno Smith is this terrible quarterback that can't play. I think if you have that first round pick, you just trade back and load up on some young talent.
Well, they're possible. But then, the Raiders now, I mean, you don't know if Max Crosby's going to be there next year. They said that he's getting a little bit more lenient to where he might want to be traded after, the craziness of the last couple of games this year.
But you don't think you could bring in John Harbaugh and sway him the other way?
Well, that would be the thing. And then you got to look at, with Tom Brady, because they said Tom Brady's taken more hands-on, to hire this coach. So, you got to look at that angle. If you're Tom Brady, you've got to think that, John Harbaugh would be, at the top of his list, you would think, but you never really know what's going through Tom Brady's mind. He might be saying, hey, it's time for Josh McDaniels to return to be a head coach. You never know what's going through that mind, because look at the Patriots this year. Look at their offense. I mean, that's Josh McDaniels again. I mean, he might, he failed, miserably in Denver as a head coach, but what he's done as an offensive coordinator over the past 20 years is, he can coach an offense, and he's showing it again this year at the Patriots. So it surprises me that McDaniels hasn't got more talk to another chance to be an NFL head coach.
Yeah, then we'd have one texter coming in here and saying, didn't the Ravens start 1-5? Which, fair. When did Lamar Jackson get the injury bug? Because they had to bring in Huntley for a while there.
Yeah, I'm trying
later in the season though.
But remember the Ravens, was the first game of the year. They played the Eagle. Was it the Eagles they played the first? Or who was
No,
the first?
I'll look. I have it right here. Let me pull it up real quick. It was the Bills. They lost 40-41.
But remember that game? They came out and they played amazing on offense. Like I thought they were the team to beat, even after losing to the Bills. I thought the Ravens were that team to beat. So maybe that plays into it too. That maybe the ownership was like, hey, we had a lot more this year and we should have, But like I said, it's like you're one field goal, one shank away from being the division champs, and you're playing this weekend, and now you're looking at basically kind of a not rebuilding your franchise, but you kind of are in a way, because Derrick Henry, he's a man among boys, but there's that thing called father time, and running backs, it starts to creep up. Hopefully he's a one-off, but usually once you cross that 30 threshold, things start to tick down. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with Derrick Henry also.
Yeah, he's been great, but to your point, like how many more years could you keep hoping that he's going to be that same? Like he has been the exception, and you just want the exception to keep going on. But like, who are you going to replace him with? It's kind of, I always fall into that category. Like anytime you get rid of someone, like who is the clear next hire? And Raff, I'll ask you, give me the next hire.
Oh, the next hire for the Baltimore Ravens will be, I'm going to go with, I'm going to go with Matt Nagy of the Kansas City Chiefs.
He'd fit. I don't know who he could bring in a lot of people for OC. Would you do Kingsbury? Cliff Kingsbury?
Well, Kingsbury actually just got fired today by the Commanders, so I'm not sure.
Which I don't understand with the Commanders. Like, I get
I'm not
it,
sure.
but your team was so hurt. Like, I don't know what you were expecting out of him. Like that. I think
you know who should be the next coach of the Tennessee Titans?
Dable?
Phillip Rivers.
No way he wants any of that. He just wants to play ball still.
I think he wants to be a head coach in the NFL eventually. It might be too soon, but I was sort of thinking about that today. You have the young quarterback, Cam Ward down there. You're in Tennessee, not too far from his hometown of Athens, Alabama. So. But I know I was thinking about that tonight. I was like, Phillip Rivers in Tennessee. And they got the new stadium being built down there, so you'd kind of grab that Alabama crowd a little bit. So yeah. And then let's see here. What else?
College coaches get a run this year and heading into the NFL with all you got. You got 7 spots up.
Well, I was thinking about that too, but it's just like I don't know with the portal the way it is now and stuff like that. It kind of keeps college coaches from making that step. You're leaving a lot of upset people. Of course, the window will open up again for 30 days if you leave, but it seems like you kind of got your feet there. But I thought Marcus Freeman, I thought maybe him to the Giants, but he came out and said that he was staying at Notre Dame. So I think Freeman's safe. And then I'm trying to think who else would kind of, you always kind of think of who could patch over to the NFL game. That's kind of, sometimes in college, that's kind of hard, but I'm not.
You hear Dion still quite a bit.
Okay. That actually, if Dion ended up going to the Browns, I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised one bit.
No way the Browns organization is going to allow that. I don't think they will.
Okay, remember, you just said the magic word. You said the magic word, the Browns organization. So they'll do about anything. And look at it like this: Colorado, they got a new athletic director. So you don't know Dion's relationship. He had a great relationship with the prior athletic director, but you don't know what the new relationship with the athletic director is. You see Colorado losing players left and right. You hear about they're losing money. If I'm Dion, and if you get the opportunity to coach your son in the NFL, and it actually is kind of the way it's opened up. It kind of fits in to where it is a possibility. And I think he'd be up there on, if you asked, your Browns fans, I'm guessing Dion would probably be up there on their list of coaches that they would want.
Can't be any worse than Stefanski. I'll be honest. You might as well take a swing at it. I would. maybe the Browns go for it. If I were the Browns, I would. I mean, just for the sake of like, we're going to bring a lot of money in again. We'll play the whole Sanders game, and you can't tell me that he doesn't have good connections. Like, he can go find a good OC and a good DC and find some good analysts that'll work with him. Like, it's not just you're hiring Dion to fix the whole thing. Like, he's got really good connections. So you're kind of leaning on that. So that's why I can see Dion, and his game never really made sense for college, for the kind of program that he wants to run. He almost got it done with the portal run there for a bit, but things just kind of fell apart. But NFL is getting a lot better.
One of the ones that I saw today that kind of surprised me a little bit was the Raiders extended an offer, but they want to interview the Broncos quarterbacks coach, Davis Webb. That kind of surprised me a little bit, being, just he's still, I think, 31, I believe. And so that he's getting, some talk to be a head coach in the NFL. That's pretty cool for him. And then
I know our guy Eric Bieniemy for the Chicago Bears, because he's just the running back coach right now.
Yeah.
He's a good enough name to where he might be able to get an opportunity somewhere.
Yeah, I think the time has passed, actually, for Eric Bieniemy. I don't know what the mark was on him, or why he was never extended a head coaching job in the NFL, but I think that time has probably passed for him.
Well, I just mean as a coordinator. I don't think you'll get the head coaching gig, but I think he's a great coordinator. And right now, he's just a position coach.
How about
he'll be getting a lot of calls?
How about this one? Cliff Kingsbury goes to Kansas City as the offensive coordinator.
That scared me. I think Kingsbury's a good coach. I really do. I think the Commanders made a mistake.
And he was Patrick's head coach at Texas Tech. So you could reunite the dynamic duel. And then another one, Vance Joseph. This one just hit me looking at the teams that need coaches. Remember, he was the defense coordinator for the Cardinals before he came to the Broncos. So I wouldn't surprise me if maybe the Cardinals, interview Vance Joseph for that open job.
Boy, there's a lot of spots. I mean, it's going to be interesting. We'll see once it happens. Like once one guy gets named, it's, they all start snapping into place. So we'll see who go ahead and lands that first position higher in some of these coordinator spots. But we do got to throw the break. We're over the clock here. Chris Raff, we'll have to get more on this tomorrow. There's plenty of NFL to talk about. Don't go anywhere. We'll get Raff's good take on life on the other side of things right here, 93.7 The Ticket, ticketfm.com.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com. MHC isn't a new company, just a new name. Mo's Moving is now Mo's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can handle your commercial moves as well. MHC Moving has 0 hidden fees. You'll never pay for same-day booking or be charged for stairs, heavy items, or elevator fees. Rates are the same Monday through Saturday, and you will never pay a truck or fuel surcharge. And they offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com.
Winter is just around the corner. Is your vehicle ready? Don't get left out in the cold. At A1 Automotive, we prep your car for whatever winter throws your way here in Nebraska. For battery checks, brake inspections, tires, heaters, whatever your car needs to keep you and your family safe on the road, we've got you covered. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Hey guys, this is former UFC fighter and mixed martial artist Anthony Lionheart Smith. The Upside Bar and Lounge in South Lincoln is the go-to spot for every UFC event, prelims, and main card. There's never a cover, so make sure you get there early and stay late. Upside Bar and Lounge has daily specials, a margarita club, and a taco club. And don't forget, they just added Buzz Bowls to their menu. Learn more about upcoming events by visiting UpsideBarLNK.com and stop into their South Lincoln location for every UFC event on 27th and Pine Lake.
Want to make the easy call? Call John Henry's. From leaky pipes to a broken AC, flickering lights to furnace fights, even drains and duct cleaning, we've got it handled. Plumbing, heating, air, and electrical, all under one trusted roof. Proudly serving homes across Lincoln, Omaha, and surrounding areas and ready 24/7. Visit calljh.com or call John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
Hey guys, it's Carly from Boyd Farm Outfitters. Farmers, you need to know about Green Eye Spot Spray. With Green Eye, we replace your existing spray boom with a brand new aluminum boom equipped with camera technology that identifies and sprays only weeds and not your crop. The boom comes with 2 spray lines so you can still broadcast residual herbicide while you're spot spraying weeds that are up. Green Eye users in Nebraska are saving a ton of money on herbicides, but that's just the beginning. Learn more at BoydFarmOutfitters.com. That's BOECK FarmOutfitters.com.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions.
For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contests, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Back to Raff's Good Take on Sports on 93.7 The Ticket. With all the good takes you need, here is your host, Chris Raff.
Welcome back in. Final segment, Raff's Good Take on Sports. First thing I got to get to. Raff, is this you? Are you texting on our own YouTube?
Oh, yeah.
Justin Brody.
I just answered it.
Oh, okay. I thought I was like, I think that's Chris Raff. Yes, Harbor was released today from the Baltimore Ravens. For everyone, we spent, probably a segment on that. Just on real quick news. Iowa got upset today. They lost. Minnesota basketball took them down at home. They lose by 3 points. Bummer news. Michigan somehow escapes. Penn State drew up one of the worst last-second shots I've seen in a while. Michigan wins just by 2 points. It barely escaped Penn State as Penn State tried to steal one from another undefeated team in Michigan, who Michigan has been beating teams by like 30, 40. And we're talking ranked opponents. So that would have been a huge upset. That would have put Nebraska in really good contention in the Big Ten. But those are a couple of the deal breakers. Great loss for Iowa. A tough one to see Michigan pull that against the Nittany Lions. All right, Raff, what's your good take for today, January 6th, 2026?
All right, everybody. Today's Raff's Good Take goes out to the number 10 ranked Nebraska men's basketball team. I was going to do it last night, but they were coming off the big victory. But I just wanted to just give them the good take for just captivating the state of Nebraska and Nebraska basketball fans in general. I mean, usually we don't have this feeling until late in the year when they're battling to get into, an NCAA tournament. You're waiting for that magical run. But this whole entire year so far, it just felt magical. And it's like, it's must watch TV, must listen radio, Bangarang, got it, all that good stuff, from Kent Pavelka. So Nebraska men's, yeah, Sammy baby, Nebraska men's basketball. You guys are Raff's Good Take.
I love it. Kent Pavelka can be my good take. Favorite calls of the year. make room for daddy. Like, all right, Pavelka's putting it on business, saying Huskers better make room. Kent Pavelka, he's been on a career run himself this year, finally be able to call some electric basketball. And then, yeah, you're absolutely right. I know feels like a little bit of a magic ride, but the best part about this offense and what I keep talking about feels consistent. Feels like they can replicate this night in, night out with the way they play basketball. So though it's been quote unquote magical, it looks sustainable. So it's been a lot of fun. They definitely deserve that good take. All right, Raff, I'll let you get us out of here since it is your show.
All right, everyone. Have a great night and be nice to each other. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Bangarang.